The whispers started the moment he walked into the charity gala with his daughter's hand in his. James Wilson didn't belong here among the glittering elite of Westbrook Hills, and Elaine Prescott made sure he knew it. But when media mogul Scarlett Morgan witnessed the public humiliation, she revealed a truth that would change everything. Sometimes, the people we judge most harshly are the ones who deserve our respect the most. If you've ever felt judged for circumstances beyond your control, this story will resonate with your soul. Like, subscribe, and join our community of storytellers who believe in the power of compassion over judgment. James Wilson adjusted his second-hand suit jacket as he approached the entrance of the Westbrook Hills Country Club. The grand building loomed before him, its windows glowing with warm light that spilled onto the manicured lawn. Classical music drifted through the open doors, mingling with the sound of polite laughter and clinking champagne glasses. "Daddy, are you sure we're allowed to be here?" 8-year-old Lily looked up at him, her blue eyes wide with uncertainty. She fidgeted with the hem of her dress, the nicest one she owned, purchased from a thrift store but carefully pressed for tonight's occasion. "We have an invitation, sweetheart," James reassured her, though his own stomach churned with anxiety. He pulled the embossed card from his pocket, running his thumb over the gold lettering that announced the annual Children's Hospital Charity Gala. "Remember, this is for a good cause. The hospital helped you when you were sick, and now we're helping other kids." Lily nodded solemnly. At her young age, she already understood sacrifice better than most adults. The leukemia had been in remission for almost a year now, but the medical bills had devastated what little savings James had managed to accumulate after his wife's death. Still, when the hospital had sent the invitation as a courtesy to former patients' families, he'd been determined to attend and donate what little he could afford. As they stepped into the grand ballroom, James felt immediately out of place. The room was filled with Westbrook's elite, successful entrepreneurs, old money families, and local celebrities, all dressed in designer clothes that probably cost more than his monthly rent. He tightened his grip on Lily's hand and made his way toward the donation table. "James Wilson? Is that really you?" The voice cut through the ambient noise like a knife. James turned to see Elaine Prescott approaching, her lips curved into what might have appeared to be a smile if not for the coldness in her eyes. As the widow of real estate magnate Richard Prescott and the self-appointed queen of Westbrook Hills society, Elaine wielded her wealth and influence like weapons. "Hello, Elaine," James replied politely. "It's nice to see you. I must say, I'm surprised to see you here." Her gaze traveled from his worn shoes to his dated suit, making no attempt to hide her assessment. These tickets weren't exactly accessible to everyone. James felt his cheeks burn. "The hospital was kind enough to invite us. Lily was a patient there last year." "Oh, that's right. Your daughter was ill." Elaine's eyes flickered to Lily, who shrank behind her father's leg. "Well, I suppose they need to fill the seats somehow. Though I do wonder if your donation will even cover the cost of your dinner." A few nearby guests turned to watch the exchange, some with embarrassment, others with poorly concealed amusement. James felt his throat tighten. He'd expected to feel out of place, but not to be openly humiliated. "Actually," he began, struggling to maintain his composure, "we're here because James Wilson understands the meaning of charity better than most people in this room." The new voice was clear and commanding. The small crowd parted as Scarlett Morgan approached. Even James recognized her, the founder and CEO of Morgan Media Group, one of the most influential women in the country. Her crimson dress complemented her name, and her presence commanded attention without effort. Elaine's smile faltered. "Scarlett, darling. I didn't realize you were acquainted with Mr. Wilson." "I make it my business to know remarkable people," Scarlett replied, her gaze never leaving Elaine's face. "While you were busy judging his suit, did you bother to learn that James Wilson donated bone marrow last year that saved a child's life? Or that despite working 2 jobs to pay off his daughter's medical bills, he volunteers 20 hours a month at the hospital's pediatric ward?" James stared at Scarlett in shock. How did she know these things about him? Elaine's smile had completely disappeared now. I wasn't aware. Clearly. Scarlett turned to James and Lily, her expression softening. The hospital director is a dear friend. He's told me about your contributions, Mr. Wilson. Your presence honors this event far more than those who merely write checks to ease their conscience. Lily peered up at Scarlett with undisguised admiration. Are you a princess? Scarlett laughed, a genuine sound that seemed to brighten the room. No, sweetheart. Just someone who believes that true worth isn't measured by the price of your clothes. She extended her hand to Lily. Would you and your father join me at my table? I'd love to hear more about your recovery. As Scarlett led them away, James caught a glimpse of Elaine's face, flushed with embarrassment as whispers spread through the crowd. But he felt no satisfaction in her discomfort, only relief that the moment had passed. The evening transformed after that. At Scarlett's table, James and Lily were introduced to doctors, philanthropists, and business leaders who treated them with genuine interest and respect. For the first time since arriving, James felt the tension leave his shoulders. During a quiet moment, while Lily was being entertained by a kind elderly couple, James turned to Scarlett. Why did you do that? Stand up for us, I mean. Scarlett's expression grew serious. Because 6 years ago, I was you. What? James couldn't hide his surprise. Everything about Scarlett Morgan exuded success and confidence. Not literally, of course, she clarified. But I was a single parent struggling to make ends meet after my husband abandoned us. My daughter was 4, I had no college degree, and I was working 3 part-time jobs. She took a sip of her champagne. The difference is that someone gave me a chance when I needed it most. And now you're Scarlett Morgan. She smiled. Now I'm in a position to give others the same chance I was given. She studied him thoughtfully. The hospital director mentioned you have a background in architectural design? James nodded. Before Lily got sick, I was working at Harmon and Associates. Had to leave when she needed full-time care. Now I'm driving for a rideshare company during the day and stocking shelves at night. Harmon has a good reputation, Scarlett said. My media group is breaking ground on a new headquarters next month. We're still finalizing the interior design team. She reached into her clutch and extracted a business card. Come see me on Monday. Bring your portfolio. James stared at the card in disbelief. Ms. Morgan, I can't accept. It's not charity, Mr. Wilson. It's an interview. Whether you get the job depends entirely on your talent. Her eyes twinkled. Though I have a feeling you won't disappoint me. Before James could respond, Lily returned to the table, her face glowing with excitement. Daddy! Dr. Reynolds says I can volunteer with the therapy dogs when I'm 10. As James listened to his daughter's enthusiastic plans, he caught Elaine Prescott watching them from across the room. This time, there was no mockery in her expression, only thoughtfulness, and perhaps a hint of shame. The weeks that followed the gala transformed James's life in ways he could never have imagined. The interview with Scarlett Morgan's design team led to a position that utilized his skills and paid enough for him to quit his other jobs. Lily thrived with her father's renewed presence, her health continuing to improve as their circumstances stabilized. But the most unexpected change came from Elaine Prescott. 3 weeks after the gala, she appeared at the hospital's volunteer coordinator office while James was helping with a children's art program. I'd like to volunteer, she told the coordinator, her usual confidence notably subdued. Perhaps with the reading program, if they need someone. Later, when their paths crossed in the hallway, Elaine approached James with visible hesitation. I owe you an apology, she said quietly. My behavior at the gala was inexcusable. James studied her face, finding genuine regret in her expression. We all make mistakes, Elaine. Some mistakes reveal character flaws that need addressing. She glanced toward the children's ward. Scarlett Morgan didn't just put me in my place that night. She showed me how empty my life had become since Richard died. All the money in the world, and I've done nothing meaningful with it. James thought of his daughter, of the second chance they'd been given. It's never too late to change that. A tentative smile crossed Elaine's face. That's what I'm hoping to prove. 6 months later, the Children's Hospital unveiled its new extended-stay family wing, funded primarily by a generous donation from Elaine Prescott. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, she stood beside James and Lily, along with Scarlett Morgan and several families who would benefit from the new facilities. This wing ensures that no parent has to choose between being with their sick child and keeping their job, Elaine announced to the gathered crowd. Sometimes, we need to be reminded of what truly matters in life. I'm grateful for that reminder, however uncomfortable it might have been at the time. As applause filled the air, Scarlett leaned toward James. Quite a change from the woman who sneered at your suit, wouldn't you say? James watched as Lily showed Elaine her latest drawing. The two had developed an unexpected friendship through their hospital volunteer work. People can surprise you when given the chance to be better than their worst moments. That's why I never write anyone off completely, Scarlett replied. Even the Elaine Prescotts of the world deserve the opportunity to grow. 1 year after the fateful gala, James stood in the completed Morgan Media headquarters, admiring how his design concepts had come to life in the building's interior. His department had grown, his career had flourished, and most importantly, Lily was healthy and happy. Admiring your handiwork? Scarlett appeared beside him, elegant as always in a tailored business suit. Just thinking about how much can change in a year, James admitted. You transformed our lives that night. Scarlett shook her head. No, James. You transformed your lives through years of sacrifice and hard work. I just helped clear some obstacles from your path. She smiled. Though I must admit, watching Elaine Prescott's face that night was rather satisfying. They shared a laugh, remembering the moment that had connected their lives. The annual gala is next week, Scarlett mentioned. I hope you and Lily will attend. We wouldn't miss it, James assured her. Though this time, I'm buying a new suit. As they walked through the building James had helped design, he reflected on the journey that had brought him here. One moment of humiliation had led to an unexpected alliance, which had in turn created opportunities he could never have foreseen. And somewhere along the way, even Elaine Prescott had found redemption. Sometimes, James thought, the people who seem least deserving of our compassion are the ones who need it most. And sometimes, standing up for someone who cannot stand up for themselves creates ripples that change many lives for the better. That night, as he tucked Lily into bed, she asked the question she often did before sleep. Tell me again about the night we met the princess who wasn't really a princess. James smiled, settling beside her bed. Well, once upon a time, there was a little girl and her daddy who went to a fancy party where they didn't think they belonged. And as he recounted their story, now with the happy ending they were living, James Wilson knew that the true wealth in his life had nothing to do with money and everything to do with the connections he'd made and the lessons he'd learned about judgment, compassion, and the power of giving people second chances. In a world quick to judge based on appearances, sometimes all it takes is one person brave enough to speak the truth to change hearts and minds. And sometimes, the people we dismiss most easily are the ones with the most to teach us about courage, resilience, and what it truly means to be rich in all the ways that matter. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales that remind us of our shared humanity. Remember that behind every person is a story we may not know, and a little compassion can transform lives in ways we never imagined.